I have just a few thoughts, and as you may be aware, I'm wearing a Clerks 3 hat, a Clerks 3 shirt, and I also bought the Clerks 2 screenplay signed by Kevin Smith. Does that make me a fanboy? No. They're not my favorite movies, but damn, they are funny. Clerks, the first one, I really just watched for the first time this weekend, and I think what I really liked about it is it's a slice of life movie. It's just like, and why it works so well is he was writing it as he was still working at the convenience store. So most of those stories were most likely real, and it just goes to show you that customers are some of the craziest people, and if you can sit down and write a movie around those interactions, then damn, you're gonna have a good movie. Because I resonated so much with those two characters in those movies, working in retail / fast food. Clerks 2 was more focused on fast food, obviously, which you'd think I would resonate a little bit more with, but because of things I learned last night at the Inconvenience Tour sit down with Kevin Smith, there is a reason why that movie I don't think worked as well as the first one. Now, I'm not saying it was a bad movie, far from it. I think some of the funniest moments from this now trilogy came from that movie. What I love about these movies is they're dialogue heavy, dialogue focused, which kind of clicked in my head as, yeah, he is definitely inspired by Quentin Tarantino, and that just made even more sense last night when he talked about how he wanted to get Quentin Tarantino into one of his movies. But whatever, that's again besides the point. Clerks 3, though, man, it might just be the hype still, but this movie resonated with me so much. It was so funny, but a lot of it resonates with me with how I'm choosing to live my life right now. Not gonna lie, I mean, I'm 30. That's not that old, but as I'm sure with a lot of people, I've been thinking a lot about the fact that I'm gonna die someday, and so I decided I need to do stuff with my life to just make me happy. I'm not gonna quit my job. I'm not obviously not yet anyway. But I want to do these types of videos. I want to share my life experience with movies and how much they resonate with me. Because Clerks 3, for those who aren't in the know, both of the main characters in the movie suffer a heart attack, and spoiler alert, one of them ends up dying at the end because of it. So just the fact that I saw this movie in the moment, in the time frame where I'm deciding to try and talk about movies as much as I can, just was literally perfect. And the icing on the cake was the sit-down Q&A with Kevin Smith after the movie. I just the third movie was just a nice recreation. I shouldn't say recreation, but a lot of the movie was literally them filming Clerks in the movie. Kind of, it's hard to explain. Randall, for those who aren't familiar, is the one that's really pop culture heavy. He loves movies. He worked at a video store for 30 years of his life. And so after he has a heart attack in the beginning of the movie, he decides to make a movie about working in a convenience store, aka Clerks. And it was a nice love letter to the 30 years of these films. And yeah, it hit me more than it did, more than I thought it would, is what I'm trying to say, sorry. But yeah, it was a great way to end the trilogy, and honestly, I know they were joking about it, but they did leave it open for a fourth one. Maybe Dante comes back as a ghost, as a Force ghost. They do talk about Star Wars a lot. That was the other thing, is I always worry about when older movies come back, like they have been recently. They're not going to be as good, and they're going to try and be a commentary on today's society, which it works sometimes, but I think it really worked in this movie. I feel because really all he was doing was commenting on himself almost. He wasn't commenting on outside society. I mean, he was. I mean, there's literally so many Disney and Star Wars jokes, but it worked. It was funny. But honestly, as much as I would love to talk about these movies, I think I really kind of want to bridge this into talking about the Q&A in Chicago, because I'm not going to lie, part of it was just super awkward. First off, like, it went on for like an hour and a half longer than it was supposed to. And don't get me wrong, I'm really glad it did, because I got some really, really inspirational messages to keep me going with this channel. Not saying I was feeling any like worse about it. Like, I was definitely going to keep doing it, but I was like, damn, this got me something to talk about. So I guess I'll first talk about like just the experience of the first half an hour of the Q&A. I've never actually been to a Q&A like this before, and it felt really, really awkward. So we just finished watching Clerks 3, which is obviously what we were all there to be talking about. But literally the first question somebody asks was about the Tusk movie. And I was kind of with everyone in the audience. I've never seen Tusk. I would like to see Tusk. Justin Long is funny. I'm starting to like Kevin Smith. I want to branch out and watch the rest of his movies. But we weren't there for Clerks, damn it. Even Kevin Smith was like, what movie did you think we just watched? We're talking about Clerks 3 here. But you know what? He was genuine. Literally, somebody in the audience started booing, and Kevin Smith reacted with, hey, don't boo. The fact that he's up here asking a question and has the balls to do this does not mean he deserves your boos. The fact that he's up here, and I'm going to answer his question. He kind of answered the question in a roundabout way. He started talking about his friendship with Johnny Depp, who I guess was in the movie. But honestly, I think that was just Kevin Smith's way of like kind of turning around on the crowd, still, because he could feel how uncomfortable the situation was. The kid just was asking. I mean, it was an okay question. He was asking whether or not he felt like the tone shifted in that movie. But here's the thing, like, this wasn't the time or place for that question. So it went, he did the best he could with the material he was given. My whole thing, though, is I kind of wish they wouldn't have billed it as a Q&A. Like, clearly they had kind of already planned out what they were going to be talking about during the Q&A session. Oh, and I should say why I'm saying they is the actor who played Dante was there. Brian O'Halloran, I think that's how you say his name. Apologies if not. They were really great together. You could tell that they have had the chemistry of people who've been working together for almost 30 years. You could tell like he just loved being there. And I looked up his filmography. Kevin O'Halloran has not been in a whole lot of movies, and damn, like he was pretty good in the first two Clerks movies, don't get me wrong, but there was the scene in the third movie towards the end where I was just like, holy crap, this guy deserves to get nominated for some kind of award because he killed it. I felt it in my soul. I teared up. And you know what? That's what Kevin Smith said. That was probably one of the funniest things in the Q&A, because he talked about his experience going to see the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he went with his dad. It was the first time he'd ever gone to see a movie with just his dad, and his dad cried during that movie, and he was like, "Holy crap! I want to learn how I could just reach into somebody's heart and rip them apart and make them cry." And he did that. Gosh darn it, he did that. Yeah. And then he started talking about doing what you're passionate about and just don't forget about it, because life does get in the way, and he understood that, and it's like he was literally speaking to me. The reason I never did any of this is life stood in the way. I was always worried about getting judged. Not even judged. I just have had this issue of like, well, I don't want to get my opinion out there because like people don't care. And you know what? It's taken me so long to realize that, I mean, I care what people think, obviously, but I need to care about what I care about, and I want to get that out there. And hey, if people don't agree or whatever, that's fine. That's life. So I'm just gonna grind it out, do as much as I can, just to get this YouTube channel going. And again, if nothing comes from it, fine. But I am gonna do this for as long as I can. And I always felt bad because there would be times where I would branch out. Like I wrote Facebook movie reviews. I stopped doing that. I did a blog for a little bit. I never really even published that, but I did it. And it was okay. His message was, that's okay if you put down your passions for a little bit, because life does get in the way. I'm tired of letting it get in the way. So I'm going to do this while I live my life. Because as much as we all talk about YOLO and how ridiculous YOLO is, you only live once, it's honestly true. I don't want to get around to the end of my life, and don't get me wrong, I'd still be happy with my life. Like, life is life. Just be happy as much as you can. But damn it, I'm going to try and turn my passions into a reality. That's why I'm going to fight for as hard as I can to make sure I go to film school online. I kind of want to talk about that in another video at some point. But yeah, I'm going to keep doing it because, like, I'm not going to let anyone stop me. Nobody's even trying to stop me. But yeah, it was so inspiring. I want to watch the rest of his movies. I hear Dogma is really good. I really actually do want to see Tusk. I'd love to see, from my knowledge, Justin Long be turned into a walrus. But yeah, I guess if anyone takes anything from this video, you're going to die someday. There's no stopping that. So do what you can to make yourself happy. That's my plan. All right, well, those were just a few thoughts. What are yours? Thanks. Bye.